AirView, please take it away and make sure that it's less than 2 minutes, please.
Yeah, sure, of course. Yeah, again, thank you for having us. So yes, I'm Simon, and Matthew's on the call as well. We both represent AirView Engineering. AirView Engineering's main idea really is to build a DAC system that is both much faster to manufacture and also much faster to deploy than existing DAC solutions. So sort of the three main reasons why we believe that we belong here today, and also why AVE is sort of providing a lot more value to the community, is that, again, our really highly scalable system architecture allows for DAC systems to not only be rapidly manufactured, but also deployed at scale significantly. It's one thing we find that is lacking in the DAC community at the moment is the rapidity of deployment and the actual removal of significant amounts of CO2. Whereas we've come at this with going, look, let's make a system that is both highly deployable and rapidly manufacturable. And kind of the whole ethos with AirView Engineering is rather like DAC Lego. That's the idea. You can either have one brick or you can have many. And the idea is that they all kind of come together to produce something quite incredible. So that's reason one. I say reason two as well for AVE is also our DAC systems produce a pure stream of CO2, which again is the goal, I guess. So we can store and capture this for at least 1,000 years plus permanency. We can also use that CO2 to fill in supply side shortages, which where we are in the UK is actually a bit of an issue at the moment. And all for less than $100 a ton at scale. That's really what we're aiming for. I know that sounds like the number, but I think we're pretty confident we'll get there. And I guess reason three as well is one of the main aims of AVE's kind of system design is that it can be deployed anywhere. Again, my background shows next to a road. That's obviously a good location, but put it on a street corner, put it in urban housing developments, put it exactly where it's needed, where the CO2 is released, so that we can really capture the CO2 where it is being released, and allow these locally produced carbon credits, which can really make an impact in sort of the local environment. So yes, that's AirView Engineering. I'll hand over to Blue Green next.
Thank you so much. All right, Fred Tree, you're next.
Hey, everybody. Happy for this recording to be shared, and also really enjoying being on this call today. So thanks for everyone for organizing it. So Bread Tree Farms, we're a chestnut agroforestry enterprise. So we convert degraded farmland in the Northeast US into agroforestry systems that produce food while sequestering carbon. So we're currently developing our own holistic MRV methodology to verify the carbon drawdown and co-benefits of these systems. And the three things that we want to highlight today are co-benefits. So we're converting largely corn and soy land that's serving a failing dairy industry into chestnut agroforestry systems that produce meat products and chestnuts as a gluten-free starch crop off of trees. So we're producing nutrient-dense food, creating a profitable farming model in the region with a failing dairy industry, reducing erosion, reducing nutrient runoff and aquatic pollution, and increasing biodiversity and habitat, all while sequestering carbon. Timing, our system is ready now, and monetizing ecosystem services accelerates the adoption of these practices across potentially millions of acres. So without these payments, there's a delayed revenue curve on agroforestry establishment and adoption. And so selling carbon credits increases the ability to adopt for landowners in the Eastern US. And durability, which might be surprising to hear from an agricultural project, but there are trees around the world, chestnut trees specifically, that have been producing food for over 800 years. In some cases, there are 2,000-year-old chestnut trees. And so by managing as an agroforestry system, we're directly incentivizing the durability of afforestation or agricultural projects, because the business model fundamentally is producing food and maintaining landscapes. So as opposed to planting trees and forgetting about them and leaving them to wildfire risks, et cetera, or potentially tilling up no-till or cover cropped lands that lose all durability, we're fixing them for centuries. Thanks, y'all.
Thank you. Carbon Atlantis.
Yeah, thanks for inviting us here. So we at Carbon Atlantis work on an electrochemical process to capture CO2 gas from ocean water and then turn it into rock carbonates for safe and permanent storage. So in the first place, we pump seawater into our cell, and then we render the pH value very low, and thus we allow the CO2 gas to bubble out. So at the end of our process, we have CO2 gas, and together with partners, we then mineralize it into rock carbonates for safe and permanent storage. And what's really interesting and what we want to find out is First of all, efficiency. So we have a record low energy efficiency for our process compared to other also scaled direct air capturing systems. And we think that we can be below $70 per ton once we're scaled to a megaton capacity. And then secondly, scalability. So our technology will be deployed in these container-sized shipping units that can be basically located anywhere, either with desalination plants or standalone. We just have to be close to ocean water. And then the third reason is ecosystem impacts. So as we only capture the CO2 gas from the water and loop back the CO2 deficient water to the ocean, we don't render the pH value. So we don't expect any adverse ecosystem impacts.
Great, thank you so much. CO2 invert, you're next.
Hello, I'm Dario from Convert, co-founder of Convert. We are developing a sustainable and innovative technology to convert capture CO2 into ethanol. So what we do is creating a sustainable product for businesses who use ethanol in their processes. So they have the opportunity to increase their sustainability, decrease their carbon footprint, but also enter new market segments. So reach the customers who value sustainability. So one of our advantages in principle is the first reason is that we don't do just CO2 capture. So we use the captured CO2, we convert it to carbon dioxide to create valuable products such as ethanol, in this case, that can be used in a variety of sectors like perfumes, alcoholic beverages, food sector, hand sanitizers. So an harmful element like CO2 is transformed to something positive and useful. Then, of course, another advantage is that the chemicals that we make, for example, ethanol, can be used to make the companies more responsible, so increase their social and environmental responsibility. Finally, there is another advantage because we don't just sell ethanol as a chemical, as an alcohol, but we sell a different product, an innovative product. We sell also sustainability. So a company that uses such a chemical, such as ethanol, it's also buying certified sustainability. Our prediction is that 1 kilogram of ethanol can absorb up to 3.12 kilograms of CO2. Thank you very much.
Great, thank you so much. All right, Coastal Carbon Solutions, you're next.
Hi there, yeah, my name is Ben Swainbank. I'm with Coastal Carbon Solutions here in Portsmouth, New Hampshire. And what we do is we work with companies that are using the oceans and marine pathways to do CDR, atmospheric carbon removal. And we really focus on the oceans because you've got the scale, you've got kind of better additionality and durability stories among these different ocean pathways. And a lot of the challenges that exist on land around kind of things burning down or other things that are the kind of bigger opportunities within the ocean. And so but there are also different challenges, right? And so there are challenges around both doing it, scaling it, existing at scale, but then also particularly on measuring it, right? And because with any CDR company, if the product that you're producing is the proof of sequestration, and within the ocean pathways, that's particularly challenging. And so what we do is we work with the individual providers. They could be doing sink to sequester kelp or direct ocean capture or enhanced alkalinity or kind of any of the pathways, the durable pathways that they're doing within the ocean. We want to work with those organizations, and we want to connect them with kind of the best practices around the measurement and evaluation, right? And this is also kind of a science is still evolving and still the kind of the methodology and the methods are still being discovered. And so we will kind of supplement them with our own expertise, but also really put them together with the people who kind of understand this best and are measuring this best, and kind of come up with that methodology, the measurement methodology together, and then be able to kind of package that up and produce what we hope are kind of quality carbon offset products, which will then make available to carbon markets. So we're really kind of a broker or kind of essential catalysts working between the CDR providers and the scientific community that understands the measurement methodology, and then bring it all together for carbon markets to package them for sale.
Okay, thank you. All right, farmed carbon, you're next.
Hi everyone, Stu Grover from Farm Carbon, which is Sydney, Australia based. Hello everyone. So we're basically pyrolysing rice straw on the farm. So we're deploying mobile units to the farm to take the rice straw, which has been baled, and extracting 5 products from the bio oil, which is produced from the pyrolysis process. These 5 products or chemicals directly replace fossil fuel derived chemicals. So the primary benefit from a carbon removal credit point of view is the chemicals themselves are actually commercially, they produce enough revenue in order to not actually need the credit. So in terms of the credits themselves, we can just let the market dictate what the price is. We don't need to artificially inflate that price. The second point, the carbon sequestered within the biochar, which is produced from the pyrolysing process, is relatively easy to verify. It stays on the farm. It can be measured next year in 10 years' time. And because it's more than 80% carbon, it's permanent. It stays in the soil for the future. And the third reason, the additionality is relatively easy to prove. The historical farm management practices around the rice straw are well known, well documented. So whether the farmer previously burnt the straw or maybe they mulched it into the soil, the actual former processes are known and the carbon impact of those processes are known. So proving permanency by replacing that with a biochar is relatively easy. So Farm Carbon from Sydney. Thank you. Nice to meet everyone.
Thank you. All right, next we have Fix6, please.
Hi, I'm Chase from Fix6. We're a scalable MRV platform for nature-based projects. We're primarily focused on agroforestry and afforestation and reforestation at the moment, and we're really focusing on small to medium-sized farmers and land stewards. So there's a few things that make us different from the currently available MRV methodologies. The first is that we are very much software focused, and that makes us approximately 10 times cheaper than the current the status quo, which is consulting based MRV. So by leveraging software, we automate a lot of the processes that go into the calculation of carbon sequestration. And so that's really moves MRV from a fixed to variable costs. And because of that, we're able to really work across scales. So we can run our MRV system on anywhere from 5 acres to 50,000 acres. And this is important because 99% of global farms are on less than 125 acres. So if we want to get all hands on deck for carbon removal, we really need to enable these small scale farmers in order to participate. And lastly, we are forward-looking. So we're actually doing essentially carbon forecasting. So most MRV solutions only look backwards. By using physics-informed machine learning, we're actually able to look forwards as well and do carbon forecasts in response to different weather or climate patterns. So that helps us understand risks to a potential project from natural hazards, and that will hopefully help to offer better financializations to carbon markets and carbon projects.
Great, thank you. All right, next we have HiveGeo.
Hi everyone, and thank you. We're HiveGeo, and I'm here with my co-founders, Tito, Adina, and Jason. Thank you very much for putting this together. So at HiveGeo, we're a Cambridge-based company, but we're doing our first pilot in the Middle East, in the United Arab Emirates specifically, and we're working with the government to do so. HiveGeo, our pathway to removal is growing microalgae and converting that to biochar. The reason why we choose growing microalgae is because it has more productive CDR potential than forest biomass. So there's high permanence through biochar as well. So one of the things that we're trying to do is we're not competing with agricultural land, we're not competing with land for trees, and we're using unproductive desert land where there's a lot of sun. So that is arid environment, arid land that we were hoping to turn as well. So there are multiple co-benefits. And those co-benefits are producing the biochar mainly. And that's for food security and agriculture. By mixing the biochar with topsoil, or in our case, desert desert land and adding additives to it, we're hoping to convert that arid desert environment into arable land so we could deliver food security, food production, but also look at water stewardship and having high water retention in the soil. In addition, looking at higher carbon soil sequestration and creating local jobs with the youth as well. Thank you.
Thank you. In Planet, you're next.
So yeah, hi, I'm Nick, co-founder of InPlanet. Pleasure to be here and to be able to present to the awesome AirMiners community. So we are an enhanced weathering company. That means we do spread finely ground silicate rocks and minerals on agricultural land. And the three reasons why our solution is especially promising. First of all, we do enhanced weathering compared to others, where it is actually most effective and shows the highest socioeconomic benefit. That means in tropical, humid climate zones where acidic and mineral depleted soils do dominate. We work with safe rock powders instead of just using some kind of mining waste that's lying around that actually already have been certified according to Brazilian agricultural legislation. And the third reason would be we provide a clear path to reduction of conventional fertilizers and pesticides for our farms. I may also mention that we are an international company. We are based in Munich, Germany, as well as in Sao Paulo, Brazil. We do focus in a first step on conquering the Brazilian market. We find it's the most promising market for enhanced weathering at this point in time. And I'm looking forward to enter other tropical markets, agricultural markets in the future to actually unlock the gigaton per year potential. And looking forward to get this going together with this awesome community. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, Plan Boo Eco.
Hi everyone, so we're Plan Boo, and our digital MRV system enables landowners in the tropics to get paid for producing biochar from their waste crops and then applying it to their soil. So with IoT technology, we're building a fast and radically transparent MRV system that generates high quality CDR credits, which we sell and then share the revenue with the landowner. So 3 highlights about our CDR credits is, well, the scalability. So the tropics is one of the most abundant regions in the world for biomass. And our methodology, which we've had scientifically verified, has identified that multiple biomasses work. So we're not limited to one feedstock alone for our biochar. And secondly, our technology itself, it means that we're not limited by location. So we can work anywhere as we audit remotely. So the access to the projects we can have throughout the tropics is huge. And then the kiln itself that we use, it's low tech and affordable. So it means we can work with landowners who previously couldn't produce biochar and as a result couldn't access carbon finance. So yeah, the case here for additionality is very strong. And thirdly, we generate holistic CDR credits. So people call them co-benefits, and ours include ones such as job creation and supporting local employment. Of course, improving soil health when the biochar is mixed with compost and applied to the soil. Biodiversity benefits, as well as economic growth in the global south. So thank you.
Thank you. All right, last but not least, Prono.
Yes, thank you very much for this opportunity to talk. Can you hear me? Yeah. Jason, Adina, and Tito. However, we should not thank you to be the last one. Had I been our choice, it would not have been a very strategic one. But anyhow, so we are Prono, and what we do is carbon removal by ocean alkalinity enhancement. Now, in simple terms, alkalinity is the opposite of acidity, and the ocean is the biggest carbon sink on the planet, yet its capacity is limited by ongoing seawater acidification. So what we do is we turn back the clock on acidification to get back to pre-industrial levels. By locally increasing alkalinity of surface waters, we restore the ocean's natural ability to capture and permanently store CO2 from the air. And how do we do that? We design and assemble autonomous industrial systems that can be seamlessly installed and integrated within the operations of existing coastal industry that are already discharging into the sea. And this can take many forms: water treatment plants, desalination plants, sorry. As a result, we valorize the otherwise wasted effluents, supply high-quality carbon credits to customers, and generate environmental co-benefits by locally remediating ocean acidification.
Okay, great. Thank you so much.